Welcome to Harper's Weekly Nightly. Tonight we have another edition of our series, Raking the Muck. This time we'll talk to Thomas Nast, the man who showed the world the truth about Boss Tweed's corruption in New York City's Tammany Hall.
Yeah.
Let's get started. How did you get involved in investigative journalism?
Well, I've always been interested in art. I was born in Germany and I immigrated to the U.S. as a child. From a very young age, I started drawing. I enjoyed drawing, and by the time I was 18, I had a job at Harper's Weekly magazine.
Very impressive. What made you interested in the particular issue of Boss Tweed's corruption?
It's a good question. As the economy has become more industrialized and economic inequality is on the rise from that, it left many of our cities' residents in the working class in poverty and open to exploitation by political machines like Tammany Hall, people like that who misuse their money. I wanted to use my illustration and talents to reveal Boss Tweed's corruption to New York's working class and immigrants.
We're very thankful for that. Let's talk to the man behind this all, Tammany Hall's Boss Tweed, and see what he has to say about all this. So, Boss Tweed, Thomas Nast has been putting out some shocking imagery about you lately. How do you feel about his cartoons in Harper's Weekly?
Nast is a liar and a fraud, and his cartoons are libel and should be completely ignored by anyone with half a brain. Being the generous man I am, I offered him $500,000 to stop printing them, but he completely refused my offer. Can you believe that?
That is surely shocking. However, your campaign does raise some questions. Just how do you get such a strong immigrant vote each election?
It's simple, really. Any politician knows that if you treat the people well, they'll treat you well. So every time a boat of immigrants turns up at Ellis Island, I send a team of people down there, and they help them out, you know? In return, all we ask is that they consider voting for Boss Tweed at the election. And every time, we get a veritable onslaught of immigrant votes.
Well, couldn't that be considered a form of blackmail?
Of course not. We don't force the immigrants to vote, as so many people, including your Thomas Nast, seem to believe. It's perfectly legal.
Boss Tweed, you're a liar. That's not what you've been doing at all. You exploit the immigrants to vote for you because they don't even know what's going on.
What are you accusing me of? I've done nothing but help the citizens of this country. Everything you say and publish is a lie.
What you call aid to these immigrants is nothing more than recruiting them to your side with lies. You use these votes to stay in power for no other reason than to embezzle their money. You've overfunded construction projects and then taken the extra money for yourself.
Is this true? How has such a despicable man managed to abuse his political power for so long?
Boss Tweed is able to keep these immigrants in the dark because they don't even speak English and often live far apart from the rest of society. This way, nobody can warn them of his crimes, and they keep voting for him because they aren't given any other choice. But I'm doing everything I can to educate these people about the situation.
How is it that your cartoons can help them understand better than the essays and articles already circulating?
Unlike the complicated and often written in English essays, my cartoons can be understood by anyone. This way, I can shed light on his corruption in a way that everyone can understand.
But is it really as effective as you say? Are your cartoons what the immigrants need to fix this problem?
I'll give you any of my loyal immigrants. They don't think I'm such a bad guy.
As an immigrant, Hannah, how do you see Boss Tweed's political presence in America?
When I initially arrived here, my English was poor, but I believed that Boss Tweed was truly representing me. I believe this because of how Tweed was portrayed by the media. But soon enough, it became evident that I, and people like me, were being exploited by this man.
What was it that triggered some suspicion about whether or not Tweed's media appearance was genuine?
On voting day, I was harassed and threatened at the voting site to give the boss my vote.
How could you? That's not true. I mean, I've treated you so well.
There you have it. Tweed has been rallying and forcing support from the working poor by claiming he's representing them, but really stealing public funds and worsening the living conditions of the poor. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
There you are. You're a wanted man. You can't hide all those millions of dollars.
What? This is ridiculous.
Come on.
You're on.
Well, what an exciting turn of events. Maybe the city of New York can rest easy thanks to the cartoons of Thomas Nast. Now, back to Gary with the weather.